So how do you feel as a mother who has lost children on this Mother's Day?
The first thing I'd like to say is it's somewhat surreal as I approach Mother's Day this year without Jason and Aja, just in terms of dealing with the reality of the fact that they're not physically here. I do not believe that I am out of touch with the fact that they're not here. I just have this sense that I'm not quite in touch with how their loss has impacted my life. My position as I find it on a day-to-day basis is one in which the existence that I have right now is one that feels feels surreal and feels, the only other word that I could use is unbelievable, for lack of a better way to describe it.
So what advice would you give to other mothers in a similar situation?
There's really not any advice that I would give to anyone, because the only advice I would give, if I were to give advice, is that you have to deal with this situation on the terms in which you find yourself in it. And for each and every one of us, it's very different depending on the nature of the relationship that we had with our children. And I like to say this, that people talk about the different steps involved with grief. Well, those steps don't exist, because we each grieve differently based on the nature of the relationship that we had with our child. That determines the journey of grief for us, or the journey of celebration of their lives, however we want to put it. But I will say that in order to go through whatever path or journey you're going through along this road, you've got to be good to yourself. You've got to be good to the memory and to the relationship, and you do that by loving yourself and by giving yourself permission to receive love, even though the greatest gift that you love the most was taken from you. You still, as long as you wake up every day, have to experience some glimmer of hope that you received from that relationship to do the work of justice, or whatever you're called to do in the midst of a loss. And the only way that you're going to be able to do that is to give yourself permission to love, to be loved, to feel love. You don't need denigration right now. You don't need a sense of despondency right now, or desecration, or put downs, or violation, or whatever the case may be. We've had enough of that. What we need right now, when I say we, I mean mothers or extended family members or family members of loved ones. What we need is love, a loving environment, a loving community. You love wherever it can manifest itself. A loving extended family, a loving creative family, whatever will give us love in a healthy way is what we need. So, there are the one point that I'd like to make as I wanted to do this video for mothers and for extended family members of individuals who have been slaughtered to genocide, because I just truly believe that the attack on the lives of Black and brown individuals right now is genocidal. It's genocidal in its nature, in its scope, and its composition, because it is a deliberate attempt to eradicate the planet, which is in place right now, of Black and brown lives for so many reasons, dating back to chattel slavery and the inception of us even coming to the shores of North America, primarily not dealing with genocide in North America, but it's global. But I wanted to invite mothers and extended family members of individuals who have been slaughtered to genocide to a place of healing and love for tomorrow. I do have an interview that we're going to air on YouTube. It's a verbal interview. It's an auditory interview of a mother who lost a child, Miss Shalea Harris. And one of the points that she makes in this interview is she will not see David tomorrow. David Lawrence Harris is her son, who was lost also to genocide. She will not see David Lawrence Harris tomorrow. And normally he would cook her breakfast and be there and hug her and all those things. And tomorrow that's not going to happen. So when Shalea talks about her son and the things that he did for her on Mother's Day, give her a big hug and fix her breakfast and just was so endearing to her, it's confirmation and it's a reminder of what most of us will experience, or some of us on tomorrow, without not having the physical presence of our child and what he or she brought to our lives on that special day. It's so hurtful to just not be able to experience those intimate moments anymore with your child. And whatever your child did for you, and however he or she did what they did, if they didn't do anything, just the fact that you could hear their voice or just experience them, that has been robbed and ripped and stolen from us. And so you're left with a feeling of what I call unbelievability. That's the only way I can describe it. And then folks may say, what do you mean by unbelievability? What I mean is, it is unbelievable in that moment when you hit that day or those sacred moments, or just any day, it doesn't have to be Mother's Day, to really come to grips with the fact that your child is not here. And the way that plays itself out in our lives is somewhat indescribable. I can't, and I'll speak for me, describe what that's like. And so sometimes, and I'll speak for me, what I do is I just block out those moments that were, especially when those holidays come around, that were sacred and that were so provided so much sanctity for me, because it's too painful to remember them. So for those of us that will wake up tomorrow and not see our child, what I'd like to invite us to do, if you're blocking out the sacred memories like I do sometimes because they are too painful, what I would invite us to do is to just wrap our arms around ourselves and give ourselves permission to feel whatever we're feeling in the manner in which we're feeling it, so that we can at least get through that moment the best way we know how. And the best way that I can invite anyone to get through any experience which is tragic and just unbelievable is to give yourself permission to feel love. And that love has to start with you, with yourself. Give yourself permission to receive a loving memory that you had with your child that you don't have anymore. Give yourself permission to reflect back on that time that he or she cooked breakfast for you, or hugged you, or brought you a balloon. I know Aja would buy me balloons and a gift, and Jason would call and sing to me. Give yourself permission on tomorrow to just dance and embrace those times. And if it's too hard to do that, just give yourself permission to feel love. give yourself permission to feel love because you deserve it. You deserve every beautiful gift this universe can or will never give you, based on nothing more than the fact that you are you. You are a child of God. Whether you believe in God or not, you are a child of the universe, of this creation. And because you are here, you deserve love. You deserve it. Whether folks make you feel like you deserve it or work to make you feel like you don't deserve it, I'm telling you right now, you deserve it. And everything, every living thing wants to remind you of that on tomorrow and every day. That you are a beautiful, viable creation of a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful supreme being. And regardless of how things have turned out in your family system, you deserve love, and so do your children. And subsequently, because of that, truth, irrespective of what anyone would have you to believe, chase it, run it down, hunt it down, make it real in your lives because you are worthy of it. And you don't have to prove it to anyone, your worthiness. And you don't have to jump through cartwheels or hoops for anybody. The fact that you're you, and the fact that your children were your children, and they were gifted to you by the greatest creator of all time. Whatever you perceive that creator to be, you are worthy of love. And I just want to invite you to love. Love, love, love. Love yourselves. Speak it into your lives. Speak it into the lives of your children. Here and in the next phase of life, transcendence. Speak it, because that is the only thing that we have, and that is truth. And truth is realized in our breaths. The fact that they were given breath and life, and that you are here now in the midst of everything, still breathing and living. You are a phenomenal gift of the universe to be treasured and valued, respected and loved beyond measure. And that's what I want to invite you to do on Mother's Day. And every day you wake up, speak that love into your life. God bless you.